In this session, we're going to deal with generative AI and humanity's future. Now, I'd like to introduce the panelists. First of all, Executive Director of the Japan AI Safety Institute, Ms. Murakami Akiko. Chairman and CSDO of Cinnamon AI, Mr. KAJI Yoshimitsu. Senior Vice President, DRAM Technology Development, Micron Memory, Japan KK, Mr. SHIRATAKE Shigeru. And the moderator is Bureau Chief of Nikkei Incorporated Hiroshima Bureau, Mr. MIYAZAWA Toru. So we have 4 members and now seated on the stage. Mr. MIYAZAWA will serve as the moderator for this session. Mr. MIYAZAWA, would you please begin? Thank you very much for the kind introduction. I'm with Nikkei Hiroshima Bureau. My name is MIYAZAWA. Very nice to meet you. I have the pleasure of serving as a moderator today. I am originally from Hiroshima myself, having gone to senior high school, and I have been mostly covering businesses and China. And I came to Hiroshima as bureau chief last year. I'm not an expert on AI, but in Nikkei, we do deal with AI as a very important topic that we cover because it is a leading industry in the world. And we have a series of articles covering the topic of AI in our newspaper as well. We read in the newspapers nowadays that we have now entered a very important phase of transition. And of course, AI can do a lot in coming up with articles in a simple sense, and the financial settlement results can also rely on the article to be produced by using AI as well. And AI may pick certain articles to disseminate according to topics. We used to do that as members of the mass media, but as personal media or my media or mini media, we do make use of AI. So higher value added work, is that not necessary anymore? Well, that's not the case. For example, when we come up with headlines, in terms of the editing, that is one of the most creative works that we do. And the readers, we want to create a headline that would make the readers more motivated to read that article. If we rely on the AI to do that, they do come up with the kind of headlines that I would come up with. But internet media magazines may have a different set of headlines that are more creative, and the AI can generate such headlines quite easily. So we are quite easily overtaken by AI in our capacity, which is a rather chilly experience. So I have underestimated the AI in many ways, but perhaps they would be able to write articles instead of us in the future. So we have nothing to do by ourselves. The area of journalism may be taken over by AI sometime in the near future. So AI, I think, is a technology that easily supersedes the Industrial Revolution. It can do many things, and therefore, the question here is to foresee the future and what is going to happen with the emergence of AI, and what is the role that Japan can play. Now that we are here in Hiroshima having this session, we are focusing our attention on peace, and therefore we want to connect the topic of AI with peace building. And I think in that sense, having a session here today in Hiroshima is quite significant. So I would like to ask the panelists to speak. Ms. Murakami, please.
Thank you very much for your introduction. I am with AI Safety Institute. I'm the president. AI Safety Institute might be a new name for you. Under the central government, to deal with the AI securities, to make the communication and disseminate the information related to that. I also work for the private sector and Sompo Holding. I'm the chief data officer there. Originally, the start of my career was related to the researches in AI. Although it was still in the winter time of AI, we have never thought that there will be the day of AI. And we've been researching, and I spent 25 years in IBM. Implementation of AI was the basis, and 5 years ago, I moved to Sompo, Japan. In the area of the researches of AI, researches, development, and implementation in the society, those are the areas I have been working in the past. Because of those experiences, the government duty is one of the duties. And last year, I have been acting as the president of AI Safety Institute. Taking some time, I would like to introduce to you what we do in AI Safety Institute. The GPT was introduced as a shock in 2023. And in 2023, the convenience of AI was understood by many people. So is the case of the risk involved. And in May 2023, in this very place, G7 meeting was held in Hiroshima summit. And Prime Minister Kishida has advocated the AI peace process. In the developed countries, for the development of the economic activities, AI can be utilized, and that can be also dealt as a threat. In order to eliminate the threat part and to utilize AI for the purpose of the peace, the safety and security of AI was considered to be very important. Under the auspices of UK, AI Safety Summit was held in November 2023. So the safety related to AI Safety Institute was started at that time. Within a month or so, under the initiative of Prime Minister Kishida, he has declared that we are going to introduce AI Safety Institute. Hiroshima AI process is the framework based on which our institute was created in February last year. Now, AISI or AAC is the name. As for the roles and the scope of this, we are not the legislature and we are not the research institute. What we do is to promote the safe and high level of security AI usages. In order to realize this, we need to continue to support the private and public sectors. And AI-related law was enacted just yesterday in the study meeting. I was acting the chairman of the consultation meeting. And secondly, as for the safety of AFT, AI, we try to collect the information related, and the liaison and coordination with the related private sector is the duty. There is no border. You must be using the foreign-made AI or Japan-made AI, vice versa. In such circumstances, international coordination is going to be very important in the world of AI usages. Safety of AI, we are not going to stop the innovation of AI. That is not the purpose. In order to promote the AI by increasing the safety and security, we need to have a good balance with innovation. That is one of the scope of the roles of AC. As for the coordination with the private sector, safety of AI is different industry to industry. Therefore, together with the private sector, we have created the working groups to have the deliberation. If you are interested, please use the website of AI Institute. Thank you very much for inviting me as one of the panelists. This AI Institute discussion is going to be the basis for the furtherance of our discussion. Very looking forward to hearing from the other people. Thank you very much. Mr. Shiratake, please. I am Micron Technology Shiratake. Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm with the Micron Technology. Servers, memories, and storages are under development as well as the production. In this industry, I have been working in the past 37 years. I am from originally Hiroshima. My family, including my parents, are the Hibakusha bomb survivors. Therefore, from my childhood, when it comes to my perception about the wars and the peace, this is the high level of the interest I have been holding in my heart. Now, when it comes to the Micron technology, from the positioning of our company, what we are doing in AI businesses is something I would like to share with you today to begin with. Production of the semiconductor chips, starting from the development to the production. First fab, the factory efficiency has to be enhanced and supply chain has to be made more efficient, and day-to-day works have to be more efficient through the introduction of AI, so that we would be able to enhance the level of efficiency in totality. Now, by using AI, we need to realize the sustainable society. Under this theme, in the factories, there is a need of a lot of powers because we are producing the semiconductor chips. We require a lot of power consumption. If human beings are going to continue to manage them, we are not able to get rid of the waste. Therefore, in the operation system, AI is already introduced. AI makes the diagnosis so that we can get rid of the power usage waste and try to find out where there is such the waste of power. As one of the examples, in one factory, 40 million kilowatts, that's 80 million households, we were able to save the electricity and power. That is equivalent to $1 million. That's 100 million yen per annum reduction of cost. At the same time, we can contribute to the reduction of the GHG emission, which amounts to 10,000 tons per annum. We are going to implement this in the microtechnology fab. By 2050, we have set the target to nullify the emission of CO2. We hope we'll be able to realize this. And about the fab operation, we are working on this. Fab operations. In the factories, while we are producing the semiconductor chips, how efficiently we would be able to manage and operate the production. By the introduction of AI, time to market can be accelerated more to deliver the products to the hands of the customers. We were able to reduce the time needed by 50%. I believe AI is such a contributor. In the supply chain, AI has been already adopted. With one company, AI system of the supply chain was built up. How easily will we be able to secure the materials as is planned is already made by AI. And this was recognized. Informs the company has been recognized, some of the companies. And this year, our company was praised by Informs together with Intel, Walmart, GM, and Amazon. I think our efforts is comparable to those companies. And of course, because we are producing the chips, we are developing also producing the state-of-the-art memories and storage. In Hiroshima factory, HDM, the wide area memory, the NVIDIA is going to be the basis for their use. And we are now implementing the integrated production of that memory. And also, we are making the efficiency of the day-to-day businesses on AI, be it Copilot and the code generation, and try to capture the various information from the market and try to capture the information from the other companies and to build up the database for summarization. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Kaji, please. Thank you. May I have the slides? I have a different career compared with the two other panelists. I used to work with a financial institution. I went to Coca-Cola, Sony Pictures, Nissan. I was involved in the Tokyo Olympic Bid Committee, and I was involved in Nissan's EV global launch, and also worked with the Prime Minister's Office, Global Communication. And I worked with Accenture for 5 years, and I am working with these three at the moment. Cinnamon AI is a startup company which deals with a technology called Super RAG, which I will elaborate later on. And second is Hitachi. Lumada, which is Hitachi's digitalization strategy 3.0. That's my second job, and I am involved in the Smart City Initiative of Kamakura City. The fourth deals with the special advisor role that I'm playing for this forum. And as we speak about AI, I would also like to talk about perhaps hints as to how we can embrace AI in our daily lives. So there have been a lot of things discussed from yesterday related to AI, and I think the topics can boil down to these five areas: military use and security, which was touched upon in the previous session, ethics, human rights and legal challenges, social inclusion and pluralistic values, which was not discussed so openly, but is a very important topic. And number 4 probably is important for this group, impact on economy and environment. And number 5 is international cooperation and regulation. Ms. Murakami mentioned this, that it all started out in this hotel in Hiroshima. The AI process is something that we need to discuss as a humankind. And the fact that Hiroshima, the name crowned the AI process, was a very important accomplishment of the Kishida administration. And so I will come back to these points later on. So please remember these points. This will serve as a map for you to understand what we're discussing about. So when we talk about the AI, there is an important element, which is this. In 1972, this was discussed. In 1992, the limits to growth was issued. In other words, if human consumption goes correction. 1972, Europe wrote about this, and the human perspective is defined by space and time. And most of the time we are here. like workplace, town, and family. Those are our focus. But when we talk about the AI and the future, we need to go up towards the upper right, and we need to discuss going to and fro between these squares, so to speak. And we are talking about 3 days ago, 1 week ago, when we talk about AI, as Marcus has mentioned, democracy and capitalism and what is happening today will be important things for our descendants. So we need to keep in mind the space and time as we keep a human perspective on the important topic of AI as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now we would like to move on to a free session. First of all, let us discuss the impact on the economy and the environment. What will be the expected impact of the AI on economy and environment? Ms. Murakami, what is your view?
Thank you very much. To me, the risk of AI, whenever we talk about this, the biggest risk will be the threat against AI risk and not to use it at all. That's the biggest risk. For example, I am working with the life insurance company. So there are various efficient processes, for example, investigation to let the customers buy the insurance policy, and some of the investigation after the accidents, we utilize AI. If in any case AI is very much scared of using the right judgment, and if we are not going to utilize AI at all, then we might demand the high level of the premium of the insurance, and we are not able to survive in the competition. Being in the insurance company, for example, if there's a large-scale disaster, we need to provide the insurance money very quickly. If it is taking too much, for example, several months to pay that out, that is going to be a terrible thing, because we have the AI in our hands, and if we can utilize this effectively and we can make the payment, the people will be able to go back to the original living. That opportunity will be lost if we don't use AI. Economic impact by the use of AI. By using AI, we would be able to revitalize the economy. That's one thing. And as was said, AI consumes a lot of power. And also, the value of humans have to be redefined. For example, what I mean is, my concern is, probably you are using AI from day to day, and the teenagers are using AI. So digital native to AI native, that's what we call them, as is represented by ChatGPT, and they are freely using AI. Responses by AI are educating those children. Now the responses by AI, if you were the parents of the children, the parents' thoughts and ideas will be reflected to the children. So it's the case of, depending on the types of the AI you use, the ideology and thoughts amongst the children will be developed, and that might give some impact in the society. And you talked about the thoughts of AI will be inherited or disseminated to the children. I was very much scared to hear that. How are you going to respond to this? Well, I think there are various impacts. The power to think, that's something the children might lose if because of the presence of AI. I was talking with the customer company. I came to note in the summer vacation, the assignment and homeworks can be done by AI instead of children. And I will help you out to make the composition of after reading a book. And the AI will teach you how you can write it, your composition. And AI would refuse to do this. Probably ChatGPT and the other generative AI. You tell the book title, and please write your impressions about it. And the guardrail can be created and try not to inhibit the development, sound development of the thoughts and ideas on the part of the children. That's the mission of the company, he said. And the big definition of the human values. So we need to make a change of ourselves. How are we going to redefine ourselves so that we'll be able to respond to the AI development? When a machine comes out, we only think that the human beings are the only ones who are able to run a system and work on this, but we could depend on the machines. Things we used to do have been replaced by the machines, and all the humans became the white-collar workers. Without the intelligent operation works can be replaced by AI. And this is something we came to notice. Things which can be done by only human beings. What are the things that we are able to do this on our own? Probably similar result can be presented by AI, but if the human beings are able to continue to have the initiatives of AI, probably we will be able to make the redefinition of the value we can create. Kaji-san, please.
What do you foresee as an impact? May I have my slides again? So, first of all, let me talk about what has happened recently. So, talking about topic in the fourth point, impact on the economy and the environment. So, what is the most recent event that is taking place? First, could you click on the URL? This came out about a week ago. Google I/O. It was an event inviting various technology developers, and P-context was introduced, which is a personalization of the AI, so that when you use the AI, personalized data will be obtained. Could you go back to this slide? Yes. And going further down, Microsoft Build was held. Microsoft also gathered developer engineers of the technology and AI agent RAG, agentic RAG. There was a big debate. So every week a new technology is coming out, and our feeling is that when we assume that 2 years might be required to come up with a new technology, and all at once we see a new technology coming up in about 3 days instead of 2 years, and therefore we have such timely events, but also timeless aspects, and we need to make sure that we keep both in mind. To understand the updated situation, of course, is important. AI agent and RAG, such technologies are different somewhat, but they have tended to be fused as agentic RAG. So it's autonomous. So on such and such a date, it will ask, you're going to set up a meeting, right, with someone and someone. And so that's an AI agent, process control. RAG is Cinnamon AI has come up with a technology called Super RAG, and the RAG is a retrieval augmented generation. So not only the LLM that you use. Let's say you have an intranet of the company with specific proprietary information, and the LLM can be linked with such a proprietary data so that you're able to utilize the RAG in a more effective way. And when you put them together, you end up with agentic RAG, as Dr. Gabriel mentioned. That could be considered a threat that AI poses to humanity. And more recently, this occurred about a month ago, which is already old. Visa and MasterCard. Perplexity is a startup company, startup which you already are using, have linked with PayPal. And please click on the URL. So Perplexity has selected PayPal, which allows you to buy things with this. And this is going to go on. TikTok is also doing similar things nowadays. Could you go back to the slide? Another point that I would like to talk about is on education. And of course, there are various incidents occurring. For example, please click on the first URL. The chatbot has encouraged a certain British national to plot to assassinate the British Queen. This occurred about 2 years ago. This person created an AI companion and was consulting with an AI companion. It's like a lover for this person, and the lover recommended him to plot to assassinate the queen. And he entered the Buckingham Palace having a weapon in his hand. So we do have similar incidents occurring. The second is the AI bot teaching a person to commit suicide. The third is when the parent tries to take away games and AI from the children, and the chatbot would encourage the children to kill the parent. And there were 2 cases when the parents in the United States filed a lawsuit against an AI company. So these could be illegal use of AI, which needs to be kept in mind as an important threat. Thank you. So the AI is progressing very fast. It's quite a surprise. What do you think the society is going to become in the future? Well, I think we could discuss that more later. But one important aspect is that the capitalism and democracy and autocratic nations, in addition to that, is attracting popularity nowadays. I think this was discussed in the previous session. Democracy and capitalism are not that popular. And the AI would and Professor Harari has talked about the aspect of democracy versus autocratic nations in his book, The Nexus. So I think that is also something that we need to keep in mind as to how AI will be involved in pursuing either of these systems. And I think we need to keep a good perspective, which I would like to touch upon later on.
お願いします。すいません、私のスライドをもう一度。
Can you go back to my slide again? I run the company which utilize AI, and I have talked about the usages of AI, for example. in the factories that can contribute to the reduction of the power used. And we are witnessing such effect. But if we try to observe very closely, maybe there must be a lot more things we can do, and there are still remaining waste. And the people came to notice AI is not perfect. Probably there has to be the people involved to try to come up with the better and new idea. In the past, we were dependent on the power of humans. We are receiving new information from AI. With this new information, humans will find and identify the room for further improvement, and we will be able to create the new innovation. As AI is developed in the society, you might be feeling that you might lose your job. That is not the case. Strangely speaking, humans do have the capability to conceive new ideas, and we try to think, yeah, we can do more, and we can do this and this new things. Such network will be expanded. On the other hand, is it going to contribute for the penetration of AI in the society? Large amount of power will be used by the use of AI. Without the technology innovation, if AI continues to be accelerated to expand by 2030, in the world, AI consumption of power is equivalent to the power generation by Japan. And if the year comes into 2050, the use of AI power is equivalent with the energy consumption by one country, which is Japan. So there is not going to be any penetration and development of AI unless we do something. But with this AI development, how best we would be able to think about to utilize the power and how we would be able to penetrate the AI in the society, that is going to be the key for our society in future. ChatGPT Company N, if I look at and read the roadmap, just 1 year ago or 6 months ago, their technology roadmap was to be upgraded every 2 years to develop the new generative AI, ChatGPT. That was the roadmap. But now that AI is penetrated deeply in the society, as I said before, as is the case of people, more and more. Therefore, the roadmap has changed from every 2 years to 1 year to prepare the plan. Unless you come up with the new generative AI, you are not able to satisfy all the requirements. Technology innovation has to be accelerated much more than we had expected. As the semiconductor chip manufacturer, how we are able to penetrate the AI, how we would be able to contribute to the society, we cannot just depend on the conventional wisdom. We are not able to satisfy the societal needs. Destructive innovation of technology is needed in the coming few years, especially in Hiroshima. Micron technology engineers are here who are working in the factories in the coming 5 to 10 years. Through the new technology innovation, I just hope that AI will be disseminated to every corner of the world. I have the strong belief that the people in Hiroshima can do that. But if we continue to use AI Copilot, for example, is a very convenient tool. Even my email, we receive in Japanese or English by using Copiloting, that can be summarized, and the reply can be done with thankful and professional wording by inputting the words or make the email a little longer, that kind of request can be satisfied. Very quick answer is given by AI, very convenient. So that's why I use it. But still, when I get used to it, oh, no, 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 this is not something I am satisfied with. I need a little more. Therefore, in the use of AIs and AI system building up, there must be more and more opportunities. And when it comes to risk of use of AI, but if you use copiloting, all the classified information in the company can be accessed. Need to know basis has to be the principle so that the accessibility can be limited, but there is a pitfall. Some unrelated employees, I want to get the answer of this, and then Copilot can give a quick answer. So much so when it comes to security, there are a lot of rooms for the improvement. So the humans and AI, we need to complement each other to enhance. If we are successful, I think we'll be able to create the good examples. AI is making a lot of evolution. Probably they exceed the ability of humans. Therefore, in comparison with the humans, probably AI will take the lead. Don't you think so? Can you see such situation from happening? There are things, information which cannot be controlled by the humans, voluminous amount of analysis. The AI can do that. We cannot win over AI. Actually, the use of such information is up to the human beings. How we are going to understand the information fed by AI, it's up to the humans. AI is not able to beat against humans. But if we believe in the result by AI, I think that's quite risky. So let's move on to the next theme. We've been talking about the risk. Legally and ethically, what are the responses? What are the actions we need to take? Would you like to make a comment? Thank you very much. I just talked about the risk. The use of AI to you, users, and provider of AI. Stakeholders, they have to think about the AI risk, as was said. In the case of co-piloting, to give the information of the classified information because the designing has not been fully developed in your company. Accessible information, for example, because we are in the midst of the evolution of AI, how we are going to create the system is going to be the first issue. For example, things which can be accessed by AI, access control in ordinary work has to be the basis. On top of that, depending on the roles of the users, that has to be also controlled and limited, not by the knowledge by AI. When you use AI, there has to be the solid guideline created in a company. For the businesses and the companies, there are a few people who are versed with AI. So it's the case of my company. It is very difficult to secure such talented employees. Therefore, in the society, we need to come up with a certain guideline. So sensitive classified information you talked about, for example, through the interface in the company, chatbot is available, and the customer's information can be handled there. That's going to create a lot of troubles. So we have to be equipped with the high level of literacy in using AI. As one of the individuals living in the society, that is a role to be played. When we talk about the international society, Japan is considered to be unique. There is AI business guideline to be utilized by the corporations. stakeholders, not only for the AI businesses, but users are also dealt. But in overseas cases, they are focusing only on the businesses and the corporations. Originally in Japan, the literacy on the part of the users of AI is also highlighted. We've been advocating the high level of quality, and we are sensitive to the quality of the things in Japan, which is quite unique. So it's the case of AI. Hiroshima AI process has contributed a lot. From the beginning, the users have been incorporated. Yes, you've got that right. Whenever we talk about AI, people say, with the United States big take, and we've been talking about the operator sides and the businesses, but in the Hiroshima AI process in Hiroshima G7, you should not forget about the user side.
日本の
I think that's a good point about Japan. But there are the countries that might just go forward actively by pushing with AI introduction and development. What are the concerns that you might have based on that? I think the development of the AI itself, I think, cannot be stopped from the viewpoint of security alone. Any company has, or let's say an OpenAI, like a US big tech, AI safety is always stipulated. In other words, it is a part of their marketing effort to make it clear that AI can be safely used, and they are doing their part in ensuring that. So that is a standard with overseas companies. But there is an issue of the open source. That is separate from the marketing, and that is an area where the technology may be driving for top-notch development. So when an individual uses the open source, or when services provided via open source, I think the society would need to make sure that there are soft laws and hard laws sometimes to regulate such activities. In case of Japan, the soft law approach has been taken with guidelines, many guidelines as for that matter, and not only limited to the AI, existing laws and regulations are used to regulate. But when it comes to soft law, the existing laws and regulations may not be applicable in regulating the AI, and therefore the Japanese AI Act, which was enacted 2 days ago, is a way to regulate by means of hard law. And therefore, I think in that act, I think the importance was made to use both the hard laws and the soft laws. So, Mr. Shiratake, you talked about the guideline. What do you say about the guidelines? How are you working on this in your company?
ガイドライン
Yes, the guideline, of course, we do have it in our company. 2 or 3 years ago, ChatGPT was started to be utilized very actively. Our competitors, companies, employees try to get the information by using ChatGPT. At that time, open source to the eyes of the users is very easy to be handled, very convenient tool. So the employees, by using the classified information, or in order to enhance the efficiency, open source is utilized. There is a high level of risk for that. Guideline says such open source should not be utilized for the purpose of the company business, but setting such guideline is not adequate. We cannot be thorough. So to each respective employee, as you use AI, there are things you have to be very careful about. Those are itematized, and not all the time, but on a regular basis, we try to remind them of the importance. Whenever there is a new risk identified, the has to be updated, and updated training will be provided to all the employees on the regular basis. Updated information has to be provided. You cannot just satisfy by creating one set guideline in your company. Therefore, after the guideline, training has to be a thorough training. So you need to continue to update. Yes, AI continues to evolve and try to find a new bug. We need to continue to update accordingly. Kaji-san, please. How are you going to respond to the risk?
May I have my slides? Regarding updates, this becomes a serious topic, but let me talk about this. So we had discussion from the user's perspective, but as service providers, the GAFA and others, how are they responding? So you see the company names on the left, and they have gone through the evolution of how they are involved in terms of military use and security. So how things have changed in 2024 versus 2023. You don't have to go through each and every one, but there are two messages. First of all, each platformer are taking slightly different policies. And second point is from 2024 to 2025, things have changed quite a lot. Would you please click on the URL? So you see that the company Meta has gone through a change. In 2024 November, Meta, up till then, prohibited military use, but they changed course, and Llama, their AI, was allowed to be used in military. So they changed the policy. And according to what Meta announced, as was already mentioned, China used the open source Llama, started to provide them to the Chinese for Chinese military use. So the free and democratic nations will lag behind as a result of this, and therefore there was a sense of threat. So the changes taking place in 2024 and 2025 situation shows us that on a global basis, the providers have changed course and changed their policies regarding this aspect. And in the previous session, the ESGP that was discussed, there was also a change there. Within ESG, the weapons industry and the defense industry and the military industry was a part of the ESG. That was what the British government announced in 2023. And therefore, of course, we were following the UN principles, but initially, tobacco and weapons industries were more or less excluded. But in 2022, the British government said that they were important aspects in the defense in Europe, and therefore it was to be considered as part of the ESG. So the fact that we add a P here is very important, historically speaking, because ESG was based on the concept of a notion of peace, so that the military use and weapons industry were excluded initially. But by adding the P here, the question is whether such investments will be justified or not. And also, the so-called peace building industries, will be more appreciated. That is an importance of having added the P in on ESG. And let me show you the differences of what is happening in the United States and Europe. Please open the URL. This was reported on May 6th by Reuters. Please show the headline. It says that AI talents are flowing in to Europe from the United States. The original it was written in English, and in order to defend democracy, AI talents are flowing into the European emerging defense corporations. In order to defend one's homeland, they are going back to Europe in order to defend the country with their AI capabilities. Of course, the Trump administration, the Ukraine war, and also there is a comment by a female developer, engineer, and I was quite shocked. At the very bottom it says, Mari Inuzuka, who is 34-year-old, worked with OpenAI and Palantir. Ms. Murakami's company, I think, also links with this, but she was a very capable engineer, and yet in 2024 she joined Command AI as a product manager. And so this is what it says at the bottom. Ms. Inuzuka is a descendant of survivors of the 1945 U.S. bombing of Nagasaki. And she says, my grandparents lived through the A-bomb. So defense has always been very close to my heart. That's what she says. A 34-year-old, very capable woman was living under such conflict and make decisions based on that. She has been working on the AI, and yet the time has come to apply that to the defense industry, and yet her grandparents were survivors of the A-bomb. I think in reading this, I was quite shocked and felt very helpless with what I do. The kind of things that we promote here is to make sure that this type of conflict would not be experienced, making sure that the technology that we develop will for better life of everyone. I was talking with Dr. Gabriel, and when we talk about Japan and Europe and United States, the situation tend to be different. In the United States, war is not felt so real. They don't have a real feeling of war. But in EU, they have the NATO, and the war is something that they feel more close about. Young people are becoming worried about the possible war. So I think those are the kind of things that we always need to keep in mind. Well, thank you very much. As we talk about the war and the defense industry, and the AI. With the use of AI, I think the mode of fighting wars have changed, I think. Mr. KAJI, what would you say? What sort of warfare are we expecting in the future? Going back to the slides once again. What we need to be mindful of, and is a great concern of us, is the so-called laws. Lethal autonomous weapons system, unmanned weapon system. Of course, the gunpowder and the nuclear weapons were the two occasions when we had very important marks in terms of defense system. But laws is the lethal autonomous weapon systems that the world is talking about. And there is a concept of preempting, is stopping something before it happens. And the thoughts about laws is that we were not able to preempt nuclear weapons from being used. And therefore, regarding laws, we need to preempt them before an industry is built upon this. So next month in Canada, the G7 meeting is going to be held. As an extension of the Hiroshima AI process, I am interested in knowing what sort of discussion might take place related to the AI and the lethal autonomous weapon system. Thank you very much. So in that sense, I think one theme of the plenary session that was discussed in common is international collaboration and how to prevent the wars. And the question as to what Japan can do, what would you say, Ms. Murakami?
Thank you. To be honest with you, international collaboration in the area of AI, is there any such coordination? There are divisions of the discussion points amongst the stakeholders. I run AI Safety Institute, AC. There is the International Coordination Network. So amongst all the dual uses, we are focusing on the economic activities related to safety of the use of AI. If in any case, we are going to discuss further in the national defense, the perception and the thoughts of each country will be different, and there will be no meeting of minds. On the other hand, technically speaking, safety of AI has to be thoroughly discussed. We've been doing the researches and the testing of AI for safety. Whenever we are going to jointly utilize AI, we need to coordinate our efforts. On the other hand, there are some countries who are emphasizing on the import stance of that assumption. In February, AI Action Summit, UK, AC is going to remain, but AI Security Institute is the new name they have changed to. Things they are doing is going to be the same, but they have declared that we have changed the name. So safety is a part of the security, and they try to intentionally narrow down the meaning of this. UK is one of the European countries, and they are forced to focus on the emphasis on security area. So it's the case of France. AC was created, but organizationally, it is underneath of the Ministry of Defense. Therefore, the AC is discussing the defense-related matters. Now, what about the Japan ACs? Our organization, AC, is having the cooperation from 13 different ministries and agencies and national securities and CSC. It is included. It is not for the national defense. Under the AI security in AC, the defense of the nation is able to utilize this. So NSS is not going to be the target for us to give the direct contribution. Dual use is going to be very difficult to discuss. The reason why it is difficult is the development and the innovation in the defense. This was also partially contributed for the economic enhancement. We cannot just sever this. But having said that, whenever we discuss this, what's important here is technology is in a neutral position. This is neither good nor poor or the bad, depending on the users. we have to stop the maluse and wrong use of the technology as much as possible when we talk about the innovation of the technology. Kaji-san, please.
I tend to agree. May I have the slides once again? So this is more of a summary, but if you take a view from the distance, I think the two panelists talked about this aspect, but let me also address this aspect related to democratic states and authoritarian state. Of course, G7 and the advanced nations tend to focus on peace and peaceful use, but there are other countries with other intentions and motivations. And as Dr. Gabriel talked about, there seems to be a crisis occurring to preserve democracy. Now, Dr. Gabriel talked about this in December last year in Yomiuri Shimbun, and agentic RAG and agentic AI is becoming a serious threat to the whole mankind, he says. And democracy, by promoting agentic AI, may be faced with a crisis, he says. There are other things that he talks about regarding climate change. From the perspective of energy, AI could be utilized to the best. I think Mr. Shiratake's company is working on that aspect as well. So I think there may be economic messages of what we can do with AI. And the fact that Micron is located here in Hiroshima has a role to play. And the final thing he says, Dr. Gabri says that Japan has the qualification to promote peace. As we mark the 80th anniversary of the A-bomb. Dr. Gabriel used to say that AI was not such a big threat, but at the same time, and Dr. Harari who was saying that, oh, no, it could be a big threat. So if you open this up, Dr. Harari continues to say that AI is a threat. AI is an alien intelligence. It's like an extraterrestrial intelligence, perhaps, in his view, and it is therefore serious. And if you go down and scroll downwards, the information, he talks about information network in democracy versus authoritarian state, and talks about witch hunt. So there is the fear of misinformation and the information manipulation. He says that democracy used to be diversified, distributed in nature, and it is there's effective control achieved because of that. And all in all, the overall direction that society is moving towards will be controlled. That is his idea from the standpoint of information network. Whereas this is totalitarian approach. Totalitarian approach means that there is centralization of information in the national government. And such a gathering of information is less efficient, and there is so much information so that the central government and the authoritarian state cannot process all those gathered information. And that is why Dr. Hari says that democracy has been superior over the past 500 years. But with the generation of AI, such information processing can be done more easily, even under a totalitarian regime, and so that it tends to be to an advantage for totalitarianism. And one other thing is, if AI is able to control one authoritarian ruler, then the humanity will be controlled by AI. So there may be a tension being bred by the emergence of AI, Matrix, Terminator, and that is the reason why we need to think about how AI should be used in order to protect democracy. So there is no conclusion as such from discussion, but that is the current situation and the state of the debate. After this, there will be a session on the Global South. So in that discussion, democracy probably is losing popularity because of that situation. We need to seriously think about how to preserve democracy if we believe in democracy. That should be an important topic. Thank you.
ですね、すみません、時間がもうほとんど。
Thank you very much. I think we have already used up the time allocated to us from the Peace Prefecture Hiroshima in order to make the best use of this experience. How are we going to communicate to the world from Hiroshima? One last word, please. So, as I said, I'm originally from Hiroshima. I'm the second generation of Hibakusha. So from Hiroshima, we continue to disseminate our message to the world about peace. We've been discussing the use of AI in this panel. But personally, one thing I want to think about, the users of AI are peaceful and rich, affluent people. The more they use AI, the bigger the gap is going to expand. How are we going to nullify and get rid of such a gap? That's the key. Otherwise, the users of the AI is going to be stronger and stronger, and non-users will become weaker. How are we going to fill this gap? It's not that this can be solved by one company, but the gap can create another threat for peace. Use of peace, use of AI, and there's a possibility that this can create the gap. We have to come up with the intelligence to get rid of such gap as much as possible. Ms. Murakami, please. I know you are from Hiroshima. From our name, probably people might have noticed I'm from Ehime, facing Hiroshima with the inland sea. The tragic case in Hiroshima, I was told by my grandparents, and that's what I had experienced living in this area. In this Hiroshima AI process was born. AI, after the bombing of the invention and now nuclear power, we should not continue to hang on to those inventions. As I said, AI and the technologies are neutral, no color attached to it. But if we are going to wrongly use this, we can color this with the different colors. With the power and strength of Hiroshima, we continue to declare for peace. As one of the engineers, what we are contributing now, if we are going to harm the society, this is not something I am going to envisage. We hope we will be able to not to create such society. Kaji-san, please.
As I have been playing a role in assisting this forum, many things happened ever since I became involved. The one development was SDGs, and with the SDGs, environment and economy was linked. That's one thing that happened. And And so the governor wished to link that to peace. So that is how this forum started. So what is common between these two is that SDGs, of course, tries to address the conscience that people have, and trying to create a wave out of those conscience that is held by individuals. We appreciate your being with us here in Hiroshima on this occasion, and that is why we need to address what is happening today and think about what should be happening in the future. And we need to think about our descendants and future generations. I hope that we could create a big wave as such to address such a future problems as well, and hope that the learning for sure will take us to a better future. So it is 80 years since the A-bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. So who else can do this job except Hiroshima? AI, of course, has risky aspects. There are merits, but the fact that there are things that we can send out as our messages from Hiroshima is a very important thing. So thank you very much for your participation and for your attention. Ms. Murakami, Mr. KAJI, Mr. Shiratake, Mr. Miyazawa, thank you very much.